Maybe you can think about what domain is and what range is. Nikela, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Lisa is complaining about not being able to hear. Okay, so Lisa, I think
Anyway, it's great to be here and everything. Really impressed with what Micah wrote about in his book, weren't you?
ooh, Lisa, maybe you can okay, you can do well, let me see. You can do two things. You can check your earphones, whether they're connected carefully, or you can check your volume. Okay, three things. Earphones, if you're using earphones, check whether they're plugged in correctly. Volume, number two, check whether the volume is put up. And number three, if not, the earphones or the volume don't work, you can restart your device and Nikela will add you back into the meeting. And I'm sure that will work, especially since it's worked before. I'm sure it's just something wrong with the connection or something. But let's
Yeah.
try, Lisa, and let us know, right? We're happy to help you. Let us know if that works. Number one, check your earphones. Number two, check your volume. And number three, you can restart your device. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Okay. Let's see who else has joined. We've got Dineo, we've got Boitumelo. We've got Sade. I'm seeing some new student names here. Nikela, is that right? Are there some new students joining?
Yes, there are some new students. Daneo's new.
Okay, great. Welcome, Dineo. It's so great to have you here. And we've got, okay, if possible, just so that we don't get too much of feedback, if you're not talking or you're not asking a question, it would be great if you can mute yourself. That will help us a lot. Chokozani, I see you've got your hand up. Do you have any question? No? Okay. Okay. So, yeah, we can start with the question on the screen so far, and then we can start in maybe 2 minutes or so. Hey, Nikela?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. We've got Marilyn also, who's just joined. Welcome, Marilyn, to the session. And Sepang as well. Welcome. You can kindly mute yourself if you're not going to be asking a question. And you're welcome to unmute yourself if you have any questions. Okay. Okay, so there's two questions on the board, which is what is domain and what is range? And I would like you to type in the chat and let me know what is domain and what is range. Maybe if you can tell me what domain and range is, that would be really great. And we can compare with each other and see whether our answers are the same or whether they differ. I've got an answer here. Okay. Mahlohonolo says that domain are all the possible X values. Who agrees with that? Do people disagree? Ranges are all possible Y values. Lisa, I'm glad that your sound is back on. That's cool. So domain is the yes, and you also agree with Mahlohonolo regarding the domain, that the domain is all possible X values and the range is all possible Y values. Sepang also agrees, domain is X, range is Y. Okay, Denzel also agrees. Yay, well done, everybody. So domain is indeed the X values and range is indeed the Y values. So let us write that down. I'm just going to write it on the screen for us to remember. So domain is all possible X values and range is all the possible Y values. Let's choose this one. So domain X values. Okay, let's, this marker is not, right? So domain is X values and the range is Y values. Okay, possible X values and possible Y values. Well done, everybody. That's really great. Okay. So are you all ready to go into the lesson today? We're going to be looking at interpretation of hyperbolas just by showing a thumbs up, or you can type in the comments who has revised the previous sections on hyperbola. Let me have a look. We've got Adam Boitumelo showing thumbs up. Even if you haven't, you can let me know as well, just so that I know that you're still going to be catching up on that. Lisa, yes, you've done it. Maslokonolo, you've also revised. What about the rest of you? Okay, maybe you've been writing exams or catching up on other work. It's not a problem, as long as you get to it eventually. And okay, so Seto, you have. Okay, some of you haven't, and that's fine. As long as, like I say, you find some time, maybe you can have a schedule and you can work through that. And I'm sure the mentors will also help you with that in terms of speaking to you about how to balance your studies. Okay. So I'm going to show you the question for today. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Ooh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. There we go, right? So this is, what graph is this? This is a hyperbola graph. Okay. It is a hyperbola. I'm just going to zoom in just so you can see the graph properly before we look at the questions. So we've got this hyperbola, and it's a graph of -4 over x plus 3 plus 1. So we can see the a value here is negative, right? See? The a value of the graph is negative. That is why it is in this quadrant, Okay. And then we've got x plus 3 plus 1. And we went through this last week. And we're going to look at the P and the Q, right? So the P and the Q as well that we're going to be looking at there, right? Okay, so let's look at the questions. Who's ready to try this question? Everybody ready? Okay, so we're going to first start with the first question. So we've got here the equation, which is y equals -4 over x plus 3 plus 1. Okay. Let me get rid of the markers there. And they want us to determine F5. So the first one, determine F5. What does that mean? What are we going to do? Anybody wants to unmute and let me know, what do we do here? When they say, what is F5? What do we do? What does that mean? F5. Let's see what we've got in the comments. So Adam says, let 5 be equal to x. Okay, let 5 be equal to x. I agree with that. Who else agrees with that? That we need to plug 5 in the place of x. Let's have a look in the chat. Okay, Tsepang agrees, Tsepesihle agrees. Okay, everybody else agrees, right? Okay. Okay. Lisa also agrees. Okay, great. All right, great stuff. Let's do that then. Let's do that. Let's plug x in the 5 in the place of x and use that in solving this question. Let's make it a bit smaller. There we go. So our equation is y equals y equals excuse me. So y equals minus 4 over x plus 3 plus 1, right? So that is our equation of the graph. And in the place of x, we're going to plug in 5. So let's plug the x as 5 and let's see what answer we get, right? So you're all going to let me know what your answer is. So in the place of x, we're going to plug in 5. So we will get a y value for that, right? So let me know, what does f5 equal? Let me know what answer you get. So I'm going to say here f5 equals minus 4 over 5 plus 3 plus 1. Okay, I'm getting some answers coming through. Okay, Dineo says a half, which means 0.5. Melo says half as well. Okay. Tumelo says half. Maslochonola says half. Okay, has to be half then, right? So let's have a look. So we've got f5 minus 4 over 8 plus 1. So f5 will be minus a half plus 1. And minus a half plus 1 is indeed half. So f5 is half. And there we go. So f5 is half. Any questions regarding this? Any questions regarding this particular question? Let's have a look. You're welcome to raise your hand, or you can unmute, or also type in the chat. Any questions? Who's unmuted? Is it you, Rabone? Tokozani, both unmuted. Do you have a question? Nope. Okay. All right, great. So f5 equals half. Thanks for that. The next one says write down the coordinates of A. What is happening at A? Why do we have those two dashed lines? What are those two dashed lines? What do we call them? Anybody has an answer for that? What do we call those dashed lines? Got an answer here. Asymptotes. Asymptotes. Okay, Lisa, Adam, Matlochonola, asymptotes. Okay, asymptotes. Kiabetswe, asymptotes. Yes, that's what they are. So what is the coordinate A? So coordinate means what? You have to have an x value and a y value. So you're going to write A with a bracket and an x and a y. Let me know, what do you think the coordinates of A is? What is the coordinates of A? I'm going to erase on the right-hand side. I hope you've written that down. I'm just going to erase because I need the space to write down the next answer. So we've got, yes, Adam, it's P and Q, correct. But what is P and what is Q? Lisa has written some answers. Lisa, if you can put them in a bracket, so write A and then put it in a bracket as an ordered pair, that would be really great. Let's try that out, Lisa. So I want it as an ordered pair, right? Okay. First answer we had was half. Okay, I'm seeing some answers here as an ordered pair. What is it? -3 and 1. And A is -3 and 1. Okay, I see a lot of people saying that. So it should be the right answer since a lot of you are saying that. And we've got the, it comes from the equation, right? So remember our equation is y equals -4 over x plus 3 plus 1, right? So the P and Q that we need for those asymptote lines is from here and here. And really well done to you, because I know in the start some of you were experiencing difficulties with this, with the changing of the signs, and now you've gotten it right. So your sign is changing and you're getting it perfectly right, where the x is indeed -3 and the y is 1. So x equals -3 and y is 1. So x equals -3 and y is 1. And remember, this is, we change the sign of the x and we write the a is -3 and 1. Let's have a look. Yeah, together you need to bring those two together. So the x is -3 and the y is 1. Great stuff. Okay, so that is A, right? Then we have the range of F. The range, you all told me, is the, what did you say? You said it's the, what's the word that you used? Some of you wrote it very nicely. You said it is the all possible y values and all possible x values. So range is all possible y values. Now, what are all the possible y values here? Are there any limits? Are there any restrictions? Can it be any y value? What is it? Maybe if you can share with me what your answer is. What are the y values that are possible for this particular graph? Okay. Adam and Lisa are saying y element of real numbers. Okay. But Lisa and Adam, what you are telling me is that it can be any y value, right? You're saying it can be anything. Then why do we have that dashed line? Can it be, can the y value be that dashed line, Adam and Lisa? Daniel also, can the y value be on that dashed line? Because the dashed line is, we said it's 1, right? Let's go back there. We said here we've got this dashed line and the dashed line is y equals 1, right? Can the y value be 1? Okay, now you're saying that the y cannot be 1, right? Lisa and Tumelo, you're saying the y can be everything, but it cannot be 1. Is that right? Who else has an answer for me for this? So you're saying y can be anything but not 1, right? Some of you are very quiet. I'm wondering what you're thinking, and if you maybe understand this concept or is there some difficulty, maybe please let me know. On Tiretse, Rebone, Sade, Sasetu, Trish, welcome Trish, to Melo, Valerie, Zimi. Let me know what is your thoughts about the range of this particular graph. So the range of the graph is indeed, wait, I must use the orange, right? So the range of the graph is indeed y element of real. So it's the y element of real numbers but y cannot equal to 1. So it can be anything, but it cannot equal to 1. So the y can be any real number, anything on this, on positive or negative. Okay. Okay. Okay, so y can be any x, I'm sorry, the range can be any y value, but it cannot equal 1 because the 1 is where the dashed line lies, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Have any of you represented this answer in a different way? Because there are different ways of representing it, but this is quite common this way. Have any of you represented it in a different way? Then maybe I can look at a different way. But if you say that this is the way you've been doing things, then I will leave it there. Nope. Okay. All right. And then we come to the next question, which is, okay, nope. Okay, you've been representing it as, okay, thank you for that. Calculate the x and the y-intercept of f. So we want the x-intercept and we want the y-intercept, right? So here's the x-intercept. Right? And then here's the y-intercept. Okay, thanks for that, Lisa. Okay, so what is the value of y at the x-intercept? What is the value of y at the x-intercept? Let's look what you're saying. What is the value of y at the x-intercept? Yes, 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 yes. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Yes, that's correct. So the value of y at the x-intercept is 0. So at the x-intercept, we're going to plug in 0 in the place of y and we'll find x. So let's do that, right? Let us do that. So we're going to write down our equation. We're going to say y equals to y equals okay plus 1. Is that right? Y is equal to minus 4, x plus 3 plus 1, and in the place of y we're going to plug in 0. Okay, so in the place of y we're going to plug in 0 to find x. So I'm going to write here x-intercept y equal to 0, and we're going to say 0 equals minus 4 over x plus 3 plus 1. We take the 1 over, so it's minus 1 equals minus 4 over x plus 3. And then we take the x plus 3 over, so it's going to be minus 1 times x plus 3 equals minus 4. So it's minus x minus 3 equals minus 4. So minus x will equal to 1. Minus 1. So x will equal to 1. Okay, is that correct? So this is for your x-intercept. Okay, x-intercept, x equals to 1. We can go back to our graph and just check, if this makes sense, because it must make sense on our graph. I see that the x there is positive. See, so it should be 1. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, so x equals to 1. Okay, everybody happy with this? Let's see what you're saying. Kiabetswe, because when we're going to take the, let me show you here. If we're going to take the minus 3 over, it's going to be minus 4 plus 3, which is minus 1. And then we're left with minus x. Is that okay, Kiabetswe? Okay, it seems as though all of you got the same answer. So we take the minus 3 over, it becomes plus 3. So minus 4 plus 3 equals minus 1. Okay, so that's your x-intercept. And to find your y-intercept, okay, thanks, Kiabetswe. Okay, that's great. Okay, then we've got the y-intercept. And at the y-intercept, x equals to 0, right? So y-intercept x equals to 0. Okay. So we've got here y equals minus 4 over x plus 3 plus 1. And we're going to make x 0. So y equals minus 4 over 0 plus 3 plus 1. So y then equals, what is the answer? Maybe some of you can tell me what the answer is. What answers do I have here? No answers. Okay, let's, oh yes, yes, minus a third. Thank you. Yay, great, minus a third. Okay, my 3 came out a bit strange, so let's fix that. Good, well done. Remember, we can't write it as a pair because it's x-intercept and y-intercept, right? They just want us to calculate it, but we can write it as 1 and 0 and minus a third, right? Okay, great. I'm happy we've got that. So we've got our x and we got our y. And the last question here says determine the axis of symmetry of F, and it has a negative gradient. So now this is a very important question. And if you just forgive me, I'm going to just erase here on the right-hand side because I feel it's important for me to write this answer here. Okay, so the axis of symmetry is what we're going to say is has a negative gradient, right? So it means that it goes through here, like, so it has a negative gradient, right? So it goes through here. It's a line that cuts this graph in symmetrically, and it has a negative gradient. So what is the gradient of the negative axis of symmetry? What is the gradient of the negative axis of symmetry? Those of you that have been doing this section. Okay. So Lisa, we've got 2 axes of symmetries. We've got one positive and we've got one negative. The positive one goes like this. Axis of symmetry is a line that that cuts the graph in half. See, so we've got, this is called axis of symmetry. It cuts the graph symmetrically. So this is the positive one. Okay, I'm getting some feedback there. If you can kindly mute yourself if you don't have a question. So the gradient of this one will be 1 when it's positive, and when it's negative, the gradient will be minus 1. Okay, so we've got 2 axes of symmetries. We've got positive and we've got negative. Is that okay so far? So, but this one, they're asking us for the negative one. So we need to focus on this one.
So I think that's the question.
Hello?
So the other symmetry is always equals to 1 and negative 1.
The gradients. Yes, that's right. The gradients of the axis of symmetry is always equal to 1 and minus 1. Yeah?
Okay. So
Yeah.
the points are always at the asymptotes. Okay.
Yeah, it always goes through the asymptotes. You're right. That's right. So it always goes through the asymptotes here, right? Is that okay?
Thank you, sir. It's okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're looking at the negative one. So we need to focus where the gradient is minus 1. So we're going to say for 5.5, y equals minus 1x plus c. And then you plug in your asymptote points, right? So we got a, remember a, what was a? You told it to me just now, it was minus 3 and 1. So this was the x and this was the y, right? So we're going to say 1 equals minus 1 times minus 3 plus c. So 1 equals 3 plus c. So c equals 1 minus 3, which is minus 2. So equation for this will be y equals minus x minus 2. So it's minus 1x minus 2. Okay. Okay. Okay, so for Daniel and Maslochonolo. Okay, let's have a look. So this is called axis of symmetry. We get two axes of symmetry. We get a positive and we get a negative one. So the positive one has a gradient of 1 and the negative one has a gradient of minus 1. So these are two axes of symmetries, right? So the axis of symmetry, the positive, as I stated here, the gradient is 1, and the negative one, the gradient will always be. Ooh, I'm getting feedback here from somebody. It's quite loud. Maybe if you can kindly mute if you're not asking a question. Okay. Yes.
Where exactly did you get the negative one and the one? That's where I'm lost.
Oh, no, it's always that. It's always that. Hey, that is Maslochonolo. It's always 1 and minus 1 stays like that. It's always going to be that. So the positive axis symmetry is 1 and the negative one is minus 1. Does that help?
Yeah.
It's always that. So whenever there's a question about axis of symmetry, the positive axis of symmetry will have 1 and the negative will be minus 1. And then you just plug in your asymptote and then you find C.
So the x is the negative thing from the asymptote.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's why we say we plug in the asymptote. Okay. So you put your gradient minus 1x plus c, you plug in your asymptote, you find c, and then you get an equation. Let's have a look in the chat and see what people are saying. Is that okay? So Lisa, minus 1x plus c, remember the gradient of the asymptote is minus 1. So it's minus 1x plus c. So the gradient is minus 1. This is a straight line equation. That's why we're using 1x plus c. Remember, this equation is in the form y equals mx plus c. And the m, which is the straight line, is minus 1, the gradient. That's where we get it from. Okay, thanks, Lisa. Great. Okay, great. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Well done, everybody. Okay, so it's minus 1x plus c, and then we solve for c. Everybody happy with this one? And our final answer is minus x minus 2. Hey? Okay, if you can just show me or message, thumbs up, or just message and let me know if this is a problem. At least then I know what's happening. Okay, we've got some thumbs up here. Okay, I've got Tomato, I've got Valerie. What about the others? Are you finding this difficult? You understanding it? Okay, Adam, thumbs up, great. Okay, Zimi, Tomato, okay, good. Okay, seems as though a lot of you are understanding. Yeah?
So if they say that we must find it for the negative, the positive one, we use the positive one, like the positive one.
Yes. Yes, you use 1x plus c, and then you find c, right? So we won't say minus 1x plus c, we'll say 1x plus c. Okay. Great. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, yes, I see there. Okay, great. Okay, well done, everybody. Okay, cool. Okay, I hope this is we can move on. So we've got, just look at this question again. We found the coordinates of the x, we found the range, we found the x and y intercepts, and we found the axis of symmetry. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to move on now to another question. Okay, here's another one. Let's just see. Sorry about that. I'm just going back to that question. There we go. Here's another question. Also hyperbola. It says that the diagram below shows the graph of fx equals 1 over x plus 3 minus 1. And we've got gx, which is a straight line. What two types of graphs do we have here? If you can just type in the chat and let me know, what two types of graphs do we have here? What two types of graphs? Straight line and hyperbola. What is the standard equation of the straight line? Y equals mx plus c, and the hyperbola y equals a over x plus b plus q, right? Thank you, thank you. Yeah.
At our school, I don't know. They use they say that it's a over x plus p plus q. So I don't know if the p is it
Yeah,
supposed.
it's fine. Yeah, sometimes they, as long as you know what they mean, right? So if it's a over x plus q, whatever, as long as you know what that means, that the denominator equal, it means the x asymptote, and then the other one means the y asymptote. Hey?
The same thing.
Yes, as long as, let me show you here. Say, for example, I were to write this. Say I were to write this, y is equal to a over x plus b plus c. As long as I know this is the x asymptote and that is the y asymptote. Does that help your understanding?
No, it's like it's a over x, and then on the side plus q. There's no p. There's no p. Like it's only x alone.
Okay, right. Yes, so that means that there isn't an x asymptote, it's just a y asymptote, right? The x asymptote is 0, that's what it means.
Okay, so if we see there's x and y asymptote, we use that one, and then if there's only a y asymptote, we use only that one.
Correct. Well done. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we've got here y equals 1 over x plus 3 minus 1 and gx equals to half x, right? The question wants, write down the equation of the asymptotes of f. Anybody has an answer for me? 6.1 here. What is the equations of the asymptotes of f? Let's look. What is the equation of the asymptotes of f? Come, let's type. I think all of you do know this. You can just let me know. What is the equation of the asymptotes? What answers do you have? Lisa, Matlochonolo, do you have answers? Kiabetswe? Who else? Trish? What is the equation of the asymptotes of this graph? Yes, well done. So it is x equals to -3 and y equals -1. Yes, thank you, everybody. Okay, so x equals -3 and y equals to, x equals -3 and y equals -1. So the x is the 3. Remember our equation, y equals to 1 over x plus 3 minus 1. So the x is from here, right? And the y is from here. Okay. Is that okay? Maybe you can show me a thumbs up if it's fine. Hey. Setu, is that okay? Okay, you're okay. No, that's okay. Okay, you're all showing me thumbs up. Great. Okay. So this is the asymptotes. Write on the domain of f. So you all told me domain is the x values. So the domain will be all x values except what? Except which x value will it not be? Which X value will it not be? Hello? Which X value will it not be? Hey?
So is it for the F function?
Yes, yes, it is for they say domain of F. Yeah.
All right, so I see that. Ish.
So which X value can it not be for the F function? Kia Betswe, you are right about the 3. However, we must check the signs of the 3. Is it 3 or minus 3? Because we said this, remember we said this line. What did we say? We said this line is y equals to minus 1. And we said this one is x equals minus 3, right? So let's look. Okay, I'm getting a lot of messages now. Let's look. So it's minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. Okay. So you're saying x cannot equal minus 3, right? Well done. So it is x element of real numbers. And x cannot equal to minus 3. Are you all happy with this? Let me know if there's a question with the domain. X element of real can be any x value except minus 3. It can be any x value except minus 3. Any questions? Matlochonolo, do you have a question? Your hand is up? No? Okay. Okay. It's except minus 3 because minus 3 is the asymptote. You see the graph at minus 3, it comes very close here, but it doesn't touch here. See? This graph comes very close to minus 3, but it doesn't touch. Therefore, that is why it's not equal to minus 3. Okay. So the graph comes very close to minus 3, but it doesn't touch there. Okay. And then the question 6.3.1 says, find OB. Let's look at that. Where's OB? OB is here. What is happening at B? Is it the x-intercept? Is it the y-intercept? Is it a random point? What is happening at B? B refers to the hyperbola. It is touching at this point here. So what is happening at B? What do we call that point at B? Remember this O here is the center, right? So B, what's happening? Here's the y-axis here, look. What's happening at B? Great, it's the y-intercept. Thanks, Tumelo. It's the y-intercept. Everybody else agrees with Tumelo? Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, yes. Okay, thanks for that, Lisa, as well. Thank you for that. Okay, so it's the y-intercept. What is the value of x at the y-intercept? X equals 0. Yes. So I'm sure you can now find me the y-intercept. Let's find that. We're going to plug it into the hyperbola equation. Let's do that, right? So we've got x is 0, and we've got the equation y equals 1 over x plus 3 minus 1. And we said that x equals 0. Because it is the y-intercept according to you, and that's I agree with. So let's find what the y-intercept is. You're welcome to type in the chat or also unmute yourself. So we're going to say y equals 1 over 0 plus 3 minus 1 and I've got the answer of minus 2 over 3. Well done. Minus 2 over 3. So y is indeed minus 2 over 3. Okay, so what do we say then? We say then, remember the question asked us, what is the value of OB? So we're going to say OB equals minus 2 over 3. Minus 2 over 3. Well done, everybody. So OB is equal to minus 2 over 3. Okay. So 1 over 3 is the third, minus 1 is minus 2 over 3. Okay. And then we have the last question for today, which is to find OA, right? We want to find OA. So let's find OA, right? So OA 6.2.3. Let us find OA. What is happening at OA? Who can tell me? What is point A? What is point A? What is happening at OA? What is point A here? It is the... Yes, thank you. And what is the value of y at the x-intercept? It is equal to 0. Great. Yep, you all are experts at this. That's amazing. So I'm going to shift this here and I'm going to, let's move this across here. We've got our equation there, which is y equals 1 over x plus 3 minus 1, right? And we're going to make y equal to 0. So 0 equals to 1 over x plus 3 minus 1. And let's solve for x. So we're going to take the 1 over. And yeah, you can maybe tell me what the final answer is for x. And remember, we're looking for OA. So we got 1 x plus 3. So x equals to 1 minus 3, which is minus 2. So we've got x is minus 2, right? Let's go back to that graph. You got minus 2 as x, right? So here it's minus 2 is x, right? See? So this point here, let me erase this. So you've got this is minus 2. I noticed there was a slight mistake with the previous answer, and this is why. OA, although A is minus 2, what is OA? Can a distance be negative? It has to be positive. So although A is minus 2, OA is actually 2 units. So this is 2 units, right? Or OA equals 2. Yeah, you're right, Lisa. Distance cannot be negative. So OA equals 2. And OB equals, although this is minus 2 over 3, OB actually equals just 2 over 3. So we need to go back here in our answer and say, hey, this is not right. And we change this to positive 2 over 3, or just erase it. distances can only be positive. So OA is 2 and OB is 2 over 3. You see, it's quite easy to make a mistake. So we need to just check our answers and make sure that they make sense, right? So OA is 2 and OB is 2 over 3. Okay, so we looked at interpretation of two hyperbolas. Mostly we looked at the x and y intercepts. We looked at the distance. We looked at domain and range. We looked at axis of symmetry. The last time we looked quite a lot at finding the equation of the hyperbola. But this brings everything together, right? How do you feel about this? If you can tell me in one word, how are you feeling about interpreting hyperbolas? And if you're finding it difficult, please don't feel shy to share that as well. If you can just use one word to describe how you feel about the interpretation of hyperbola so far. Okay, okay, I'm getting okay, I'm getting good. Okay, yeah, good, decent, good, okay. Okay, great. Okay, Lisa, the length is still a bit something, but obviously you can practice that more. And we are going to be doing more functions as well going forward. So I hope you've managed to, write them down or take a picture or whatever, and just have a look at some of the activities in your own way. And I hope you've written good notes about them. Thank you. Okay, Daniel, simplified your understanding. That's great. So that is it from me today, but I'm going to hand you over now to the mentor, Nikela, who is going to give you some more information. So I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to hand over to Nikela.
Okay. Hi, guys. I think you guys did really well. Maybe this lesson was a little bit complicated. It was a lot to cover, but I think you guys did really, really well. So well done to everyone. And thanks for participating. Just a recap, we are done with our third lesson now. And it was interpretation of the hyperbola graph. And then we're going to have lesson 4 on the 5th, which is going to be exponential graphs. So yeah, just a reminder on that. Okay, and now we have our leaderboard. And what this basically means is just people who are doing really well and who are doing a lot of activities and exercises on our app. So we have in first place, Malchogonolo, well done. Second place, we have Marilyn. We have a few people in third and fourth. So in third, we have Kiabetswe, Rechomoditswe, Ontatire, Sabelo. And in our fourth place, we have Valerie, Zimi, Victor, and Kateho. So well done to everyone. And yeah, this is just to encourage you. Yeah, just to encourage you guys to do some of the exercises that Dipesh gives you guys at the end. And yeah, the more you practice, even if you've done that and you want to practice more, then you will build up a lot more activities. And yeah, and then you could appear on this board. But well done to everyone. Just for your homework or your app lessons, this is, so you're going to continue on functions and relationships. And you will see that because we're kind of ending this section, we want you just to revise all the sections so far. So introduction to the hyperbola, sketching the hyperbola, finding the equation of the hyperbola, and transforming the hyperbola. So if you could just go over those. If you haven't done those sections, it's a good time now just to go back and just to make sure all those sections are done, so that you can just understand a little bit better. So that brings us to the end of the lesson. Well done again, and we will see you then again in our next lesson on Thursday.
Thank you, everyone. soon.